Everyone. Today it is a new topic which we are going to start is deployment. Okay, so now let's assume that your project is done. Project is completed. That means you have completed whatever the requirement is there, you have completed the project. And it is tested. Assume that it is tested and ready to move. Project is completed. QA came into the picture. QA tested the project and there are no issues. And now the place is we wanted to move the changes to the production. We wanted to move the changes to the production. So that means your all classes, components, everything is working fine. So let's take the Visualforce page that you created. And for that, there is a control that we have created, the trigger that we created for the project, everything, formula fields, validation rules, everything, page layout, all are working fine. So when testing test the scenario, they verify everything before they push it to the production. So functionality by starting from the field to tell the component whether it is working fine or not, whether field has a proper information, page layout has a proper information, validation, formula field is working or not, and all the components, triggers, page layouts, lightning page, lightning flows, Visualforce pages, everything they will cross verify. So once they confirm that flow is perfectly fine on and the component, the code, the logic which we have written in the code is working fine. Now it is time to move to the production. So when they say time to move to the production, so we will give the confirmation to client. We will give the confirmation to client saying that, okay, our QA in a sense, internal QA in a sense in the company. So we have a QA team, right? So internal QA is tested and they will send some documentation. Testing team will prepare a final documentation and they will send it to us saying that it is a signing off. Say like sign off. Sign off means QA gave the sign off means everything is done. So it's ready to move. So when it is says, we will inform client, okay, from our end, development, testing, everything is completed and we are ready to move the changes to the production. So when you want us to move to the production, so client will give some time or some date. They are going to say that on this date, okay, like let's say the 25th July. Okay, can you push it on 20? Client will say that push it on 25th July. Take time between the 10 a.m. to or their time morning 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. They say that please do it in between the 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. so that after the 9 a.m. why they do not want all the users, everybody, employees will come and log in, right? So during that time, we do not want to impact anybody. So when the client is down, when their system is down, that means nobody is logging into that. So everybody shut down. So maybe it is between the 5 to 9 a.m. or they will say that from 1 a.m. if we have a longer time, which we are going to take it 1 a.m. to take it till 7 a.m. and they have a login time as a 7:30 a.m. So they will give the time as well as the date to go ahead, push the changes to the production. Now, once we got the confirmation from the client, how will we do that? Can anybody go on mute? Somebody is just. Okay, so how will we do the deployment? what is the process? What are the different ways that I can do the deployment? And what is the deployment concept? What is the deployment concept? So these are the couple of interview questions. What is the deployment concept? So let's go ahead and understand. Whenever you are migrating it, whenever you are migrating settings or programs or logic or fields or some rules or page layout, anything, whenever we are migrating, what is the migrate? Migrate means source system. This is the source system. And also I have a target system. What is a source system? Let's take Salesforce is a source system, which is a samskaraIT we are using. Right? This is the source system. So from source system, I have another Salesforce org, which is Konuganti. Okay. So this is a different system and this is a different system. From source system to the targeted system, whenever I push the changes, that means here I'm migrating all my changes from source system to the target system. So that could be anything like moving the page layout, moving the fields or the logic or anything from one server to another server, we call mass migration. Whenever you are transferring any setting logic from one server to another server, we call mass. We call the migration or also called as a deployment. Deployment. Okay. So that means, let me open the paint. Okay. I have a source system. This is my source system and this is my targeted system. Both are Salesforce only. Source system is Salesforce. Right now, what we are trying to do is from Salesforce to another Salesforce org. Which is let's say that this is a Konuganti. Okay, and this is samskaraIT. Okay, I have a two Salesforce. So what we are doing here, we are migrating changes from Salesforce 1 to Salesforce to Salesforce 1. Okay. We can call it as a migration or we can call it as a deployment. A deployment can be happen from sandbox. This is a one sandbox. That means it can happen from sandbox to production. That means I'm deploying the changes from sandbox. When I say sandbox, it is a test.salesforce.com. When I say production, live.salesforce.com. So the deployment can happen from sandbox to production or could happen production to production or could happen production to sandbox. We can create a sandbox like whatever we have in the data, And if I have some test org, if I wanted to move any specific data from production to sandbox, we can move that. Also, we can do the deployment from sandbox to sandbox. So sandbox to production, vice versa also will happen, production to sandbox, production to production, sandbox to sandbox. Whatever the way, like wherever I wanted to push it, we can do that. So whenever we migrate any type of settings, data from one environment of Salesforce to another environment of Salesforce, we call it as a mass deployment. Here, whatever the data, for example, if I am pushing the data from here, I have some Visualforce page. Okay. Let's say the name is VF1. And here I do not have this Visualforce page. So I can deploy this particular Visualforce page from Salesforce to Salesforce 1. So that what will happen, it will come and it will sit here. Now I can open the VF1. Initially it was not there, VF1 Visualforce page. Now I deployed it from sandbox to production or production to production. So that's the reason this is came from the another production org. Right? And so whenever we are doing the deployment, we have a different ways to deploy in Salesforce. We have a different ways to deploy it. So the deployment tools are we have a deployment tool ant, and also we can do it from the workbench. We can deploy the changes from the workbench also. We can deploy the changes from Visual Studio Code. Okay, and we can do it from Git. We can do it from the source tree, Bitbucket. This is together. Okay, so let's put it as a Bitbucket. Okay, we can do it from change set, Salesforce change set. So these are the different tools we can use it, and there are many are there. And next one we have a Copado. Okay. So multiple tools are there. So most of the companies go for Git, go for Bitbucket, go for very rare scenario Salesforce change set, and then some members will go with the Copado, some members will go with Workbench only, some members will go with Ant. Okay. So most of the developers prefer, I mean, it's up to the developer which one they wanted to go. But the one which we are going to discuss right now is using the ant. Using the ant, how can we deploy it? How can we deploy it using the ant? So today we are going to discuss how to deploy using the ant. So far the concept is clear before I move on. Okay, so let's go to the org. So I have a two org here. One is samskaraIT 7 and another one I have a Konuganti. Okay, so these two are a production. samskaraIT is a production and this is also production because these are the dev orgs. Okay, so the first step which I have to do is I have to download the Java. First step is we have to download Java JDK. So go to the Java download oracles. So step 1 is download Java JDK from Oracle. Okay. Go here, look for whatever the system you have. Okay, Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever you have, take that. And based on that, your product file description, install it. So I'm going to install S64 installer. So download JDK. So once it is done, and the next step is go ahead and let's execute this. Okay, it is preparing to install. So you will get this step. Okay, click on next. So it is going to place it in C program files Java JDK 18.0.1.1. So that is the one which we have installed or downloaded, right? 18.0.1.1. That is the one which we have downloaded. Next. Okay, good. So it is done. Now let me go to the, let's see where is my C drive, program files. Where is it? Okay, program files Java JDK 18.0.1.1. So when it is done, today it is done, right? So now what I'll do is I'll open my command prompt. Open the command prompt. And in order to check whether my Java is there or not, in order to check that, what I can do is Java space hyphen version. So I'm just cross checking it. Fine. Java version is 18.0.1.1 and this is 422. Okay, so this is perfect. So whatever we have downloaded, installed, it's giving me fine. So that means it is installed perfectly fine. So what is the second step? Download the Java. And step 2 is install Java. And once it is completed, step 3 is check the version, check the Java version. How can you check that? You have to write Java space hyphen version. Right? By giving this, you will know that what is the whether it is installed perfectly or not. Now, first step is done. Now, next one is we have to install the apache-ant. We have to install the apache-ant. So click on this apache-ant welcome, open this. And here you will see there is a download where it is. Okay, let's Apache and download. Just a second, Apache and download. This is binary resource downloads. Hold on a second. Apache and download. Okay, here it is. So Apache and download 1.9.16. We are going to download the zip. Okay. So once the Java is done, the next one we have to step 4, Apache and download. We have to download it from here. And once it is downloaded, there is one more thing which we have to download it is Salesforce, Apache, salesforce-Ant. Go to the install and migration. Okay. So click on this install and migration. Here we have a download the zip file, which is the latest release, whatever we have a current release, Spring 22. Click on that. Okay, so 2 are running. Step 5, install Salesforce and migration. First, you have to download it. So from where I'll give you the reference. Okay. So these are the till now, whatever we did, everything is the download. For the download, we need a Java JDK and we need a apache-ant and we need a Salesforce-Ant migration. These 3 we have to download it for the ant. Okay, so this is running on. So in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll go to that complete. Okay, or else I'll just create another folder. So in the meantime, let's go to the C and let's click on a new folder. So I'm creating the separate folder, which is a SFDC. Perfect. Open this SFDC. So Apache is completed, right? Click on that. So it will open. And drag that folder from the zip to the SFDC. This Apache zip file, if you open it, you will see a folder called apache-ant 1.9.16. So once that is done, just drag it to the new folder that you have created. Just taking a lot of time. In the meantime, any questions so far?
Yeah, I have a question. Hello.
I cannot hear your voice.
Now, are you able to hear now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a migration means the whole set we are transferring, or like it's a copy of.
We will take some component for the testing purpose. Okay, so only few component we are going to push from one Salesforce to another Salesforce using the ant. Because pushing everything, all the components, all the Visualforce pages, all the triggers, it is going to take a lot of time. So what we will do is we will just take only two component and we will push it to the another org. Let's see how that is going to work. So for the ant, only the difficult part is installation and setup. Once your system has the installation done and setup is done, you need not to do these steps again and again. So this is a one-time setup. Let's wait. Okay, SFDC, this is going on. And also what I'll do is I'll create another code, which is, let's say SFDCAnt, the one which we have downloaded the salesforce-Ant. The one which we have downloaded the salesforce-Ant, everything I will put it into the SFDCAnt. Okay, so once it is done, you will see these all folders are pushed into the one which I have created. Now SFDCAnt is empty. Okay, now I'll open this, the zip file salesforce-Ant, the one which I have downloaded. So we have a 3 files here. Okay, I'll copy everything. And I'll push these all 3 to SFDCAnt. In the meantime, let me go ahead and step 6 is create a folder, create a new folder in C drive, which is specific to your ant tool. Ant files will be sitting in that folder. And inside this folder, you have to create a two folders again. The first one is for apache-ant, and the second one is for salesforce-Ant. Okay, so far this is what we have done. Okay, the changes are here. Now I do not need that download. Okay, so we are going to concentrate only on this. Okay, in SFDC I have two folders, apache-ant and SFDCAnt. In SFDCAnt, let's open it, and this ant-salesforce. Okay, copy this ant-salesforce. Go to the apache-ant, go to the bin, not bin, library. Okay, so here, do you see anywhere ant-salesforce? It is not there. So let's go ahead and paste it. Copy the ant-salesforce from Salesforce and folder to apache-ant. Right? So what is the step 6 that we have done? 7. Copy the ant-salesforce file from SFDCAnt, apache-ant, apache-ant library. We just pasted there. Clear? Anybody has any questions so far? Because we are going to move further on this setup. So far we have not done anything much here. I just downloaded the 3 things: Java, apache-ant, and salesforce-ant. Then whatever I have downloaded the apache-ant and downloaded the salesforce-ant, these two I kept it in my own folder. I created my own folder which is holding all the ant information, right? So in that folder again I created the subfolders. One is for apache-ant and one is for salesforce-ant. From the salesforce-ant, I copied the ant-salesforce and pasted into the apache-ant. So that's it, we have did. Now, the main setup comes here. The configuration setup from here is very important. Let's open one notepad. Okay. So right now we have to get root path. I have to get the root path. And also I need to get the bin path. What is the root path? Now, if you go here, root path is apache-ant 1.9.16. So till this point, copy this. This is the root path, right? And same thing, copy it for Java. So we have a Java in C drive programs. Java JDK 18 point this. So this is also root path. Copy the Apache root path and Java root path. Right. Next one is I have to copy the bin file. So here the bin file is this one. Copy that path. Same thing for Apache bin. Perfect. So total 4 path I need. 2 is the root path. First 2 are root path and next 2 are bin path. Okay. So once you collected, keep it in the notepad because that is we need it further setup. Go to this PC. So right click on this. It's stuck. Or else let's open the advanced. Okay. So I think everybody might be aware of this system advanced property. If you go to the PC and properties, open the system. So from control panel, all controller systems you can open from there also. This is advanced system settings. So in this advanced system settings, we have a something called environment. Okay. So in this environment, the first whatever you see here, there are 2 boxes are there. One is user variable for Swapna and system variable. This whatever the top box is there, this is for the root path. And what are the bottom box is there, this is for bin path. So the one which we have collected here, so these are the root path where I have to add the root path in the top box. Click on new. So let's give the name as ant home. Okay. So value is the root path. Click OK. Now it's get created here. Again, take the Java root path. Click on new. And let's give the name as Java underscore home. And give the value as Java. Click OK. So this is the ant home and this is the Java home. Perfect. Now coming to the bin variables. For bin variables, here is the path. So there is a path. You will see path and path ext both. Do not click on path ext, just click on a path. The path, PATH, the one which is there, just click on that and edit. Do not make any changes here. Just click on the next line. Let me copy this first bin path. Okay, so click on new So it will open the new. Perfect. Now let's copy the next one. Click on new and paste it. Okay. Right. Again, click here. See, you will be able to see the one which you have added. SFDC apache-ant, and also you have added the Java JDK 18.0.1. Perfect. So everything is, all the informations are there here. Now let's click on OK, OK, and OK. Now the configuration setup is done. Perfect. Okay, now what we will do is, we will check whether Ant version is updated perfectly or not. How can I check Ant version is updated perfectly or not? Just I'll use here and space hyphen version. And it is not giving anything. Let's close this. See SFDC. Okay, CMD. Which will open this. Now and hyphen version. Okay, I have this. apache-ant version 1.9.16 is completed, right? So now Ant version is there. Now final that we have to remember, this is the entire setup. Whatever we did till now is the entire setup. We copied this, and then step 8, collected the root path and bin path. Collected the root path and bin path and stored in notepad++ or notepad. Okay. Once you have collected the information, step 9 is go to advanced system environment. And then click on environment. There is a pop-up box will be open there. On top box, you have to mention root path. Bottom box, mention bin path. Perfect. And that's what we have done so far. Now this is entire setup. And the next one, what we did, step 10, cross verify and version. How can you verify? And space hyphen version. Right. Now that's what we did so far. Now the setup is done. Now go to your SFDCAnt. There is a folder called sample. Inside the sample, total you have 4, 5, 6 files are there. Okay. Out of 6 files, only 3 are very important. Okay, till now, whatever we did it is the configuration, installation, download, everything we have done it. So whatever you have done, everything will be, so far whatever we did till now, everything is a configuration. Okay, from step 11 onwards, from step 11 onwards, 3 files are which are important. You will be doing every time whenever you do the deployment. Every time when you do the deployment, you will be touching the 3 files. What are those 3 files? One is build.properties, build.properties, and next one is the build, and the third one is package. Third one is package. So these 3 files are very important. Whenever you do the deployment, you will be touching these 3. This is the step 11 to remember. Anytime you do the deployment, you have to touch these 3 files. You have to touch these 3 files. No, so far till 10, whatever we did, it is all set up. It is all set up. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and see that. Now let open the build.property. So sample, open the build.property in notepad++. Okay. So when you open the build.properties in notepad++, you will see all these information, but concentrate only on the username, password, and server URL. These 3 are important. Username, password, and server URL. Username, password, and server URL. So what are we planning to do here is, I have samskaraIT. Okay, let's go to the Visualforce page. Let's concentrate on pushing only one component. Visualforce pages. Let's take anything. Let's see that. Okay, this has a controller. Let's take only the Visualforce page that does not have any controller. This is also has the controller. Okay, let's take my first page. Okay, my first page is in the samskaraIT 7. Okay, let's check it in the Konuganti Visualforce pages. Do I have anything called my first page? No, I do not have. Okay, so in samskaraIT, I have a visual force page called my first page. Here I do not have in the Konuganti. So what I'm going to do is from this samskaraIT, the first thing is that I am going to retrieve entire data. I'm going to retrieve entire data to the local system. I'm going to retrieve everything to the local system. That's what I'm going to do. First, I'll connect my ant will be connected to the samskaraIT. Okay. In order to connect ant to the samskaraIT, we have to go to the build properties. We have to go to the build properties. Inside this build properties, give the credentials which are same as samskaraIT. So my samskaraIT is t1@gmail.com. Settings t1@gmail.com. Okay, so this is my username and password is new year @123. This is my password, and also I'm going to get the security token. Okay, so I have already generated. I might be having the security token. Just a second. Okay. This is my security token. So what I have given, username is my samskaraIT username and samskaraIT password, and this is my token. For every org, we have a token. How to get the token? Go click on this your profile and go to the settings. Inside the settings, here once you click on a setting, you will directly redirect it to the personal information. Below that, you will see reset my security token. In case if you do not have, we did it in the last few days back, so that's the reason I have this token. But in case if you do not have your security token anywhere stored in your system, click on this, so that what will happen, it will generate another token, it will give you another token to you. So once I have the information, this is perfectly fine. Now here they have given some information. If you are doing from the production or a developer edition, right now we are in the developer edition, use the login.salesforce.com. But in case you are in a sandbox, use the test.salesforce.com. So right now we are in a developer edition. So let's go ahead and use the HTTP login.salesforce.com. Now perfect, I'm done with this. So build property is to give the credentials so that my ant, whatever I have installed the ant, it will be connected to the whatever the org credential that I have given, it will connect it to that particular org. Perfect. Now let me open C drive, SFDCAnt sample. And we made a changes to the build.properties. Now, whatever I am getting it from the org, I wanted to store it in separate folder. All the component I wanted to store it in separate folder. Let's say that this is samskaraIT. samskaraIT folder. So whatever I retrieve the component, I wanted to store it in samskaraIT folder. Right now this folder is empty. Right? So what I'll do is, next one is very important one is package.xml. We have a next one package.xml. So copy this package.xml and paste it into the new folder which we have created, samskaraIT. Okay. How this package look like? This is a package. So whether you do the deployment through the ant or through the visual force pages or through the git or build source, wherever you do, this is the format. This is the package that we are going to use it. So by default, package is going to come with some types. So right now it is created for Apex classes and Apex trigger. Okay, Apex classes and Apex trigger. But our focus is only to deploy one component, which is a visual force page. So what I'll do is I'll simply put Apex pages. Pages is nothing but visual force page. So what is the visual force page that I'm planning to push? My first page. So instead of star, I'll give a component name. Star means everything it is going to take. All the visual force pages it is going to take. So instead of pushing everything, right now I have taken only one component, which is my first page. And current version is 54 version. Okay, let's save this. So we are done with the package.xml. Okay, so first one, build properties and the package.xml. In the package.xml, we just took only one visual force page. Now let's go ahead and open the third one, very important, which is a build. Okay. So build will have all the information, whatever is happening right now. So do not change anything here except the one which I'm going to touch it. Okay. So here, look for the retrieve. Look for the word called retrieve. Look for the word which is called as a retrieve, and it should have a unpackaged. Okay, this one. So let's take this, copy. Look at this. What is the information that I'm taking it? Retrieve code. Okay, SF:retrieve. Because my first focus right now is to retrieve the data from source org. Source org is samskaraIT. So look for the retrieve tag, copy this, scroll up, paste it after this task definition. Okay. Now change the name, put anything. Let's put it as a Sam. Username, do not change it because it is going to collect it from the build properties. Password, do not change. It is going to collect it from the build properties. Session ID, URL, everything is going to get it from build property. Only the thing which you need to concentrate on, retrieve target code. Retrieve target code. Okay, so retrieve target code is basically where you wanted to place it. Where you wanted to place it. I wanted to place it in samskaraIT, right? So take only sample samskaraIT. Let's take another folder here just to save purpose. Stop now and push everything here. Perfect. So we are going to place it in the samskaraIT. So let's take this Swapna samskaraIT. Only the last folder after the sample, whatever the path is there, just take that path and place it here. So this is the folder that I'm going to push the component, retrieve the component from the source out and put it into this folder. And where is my unpackaged code? Where is it? It's in the let's cut, put it here. So it's in the package.xml. Is this path is clear? What are we doing it right now? So every time whenever we do, we have to touch the three files. What are the three files? One is build.properties. Why the build.properties? To give the org credentials. And URL. And then what we did on the package is what all the component that I am planning to deploy. Another org. Okay. What is the build? Build is the actual code for retrieving. Actual code for retrieving. So build is the one which is actual code that is going to retrieve it. So that's what we did it. So we created a Swapna. Inside that samskaraIT, nothing is there. And here package.xml, which has only one component. Okay, let's save this. And I change this SAM, retrieve, unpackage, I did everything. Now let me go to the folders for now. Let's open the command prompt. So inside this, so I am into the same path, C, SFDCAnt, samples of now. Okay. So let's take it only till sample. CMD, C, SFDC, sample. Okay. Now, the first step is I have to do and the target name. Building the file, SAM, successfully retrieved. Now let me go back to the sample, Swapna, samskaraIT. See here. My first page is pulled. My first page is pulled from the samskaraIT org. Right? So this part is completed. This part is completed right now. Here, using the ant, we downloaded this file to the local system. Now I have to deploy to the another org, right? I have to deploy to the another org. So in order to deploy another org, again, I have to touch 3 files. Why 3 files I have to touch? Because my org credentials are which is connected to the samskaraIT. Right now, I have to connect to the another org which is a Konuganti dev. Settings. So what is my username? Perfect. Let's copy that and put it here. I need password. Just a second. I have to collect the password. Okay, this is my password, and I do not have the reset, but this is not required. Let's see. So without giving the security token, let's try. So now I have connected to the different org, right? And it is required login.salesforce because I have connected to the developer edition. Because I have connected to the developer. Yes, another org is a developer edition. Yes, that is also developer edition. I created for my own practice. Perfect. So build property is done. So let's save this. Now I need not to make any changes to the so I need not to make any changes to the package.xml because when I was retrieving it, I pasted everything whatever I needed. So I do not want to change anything there. So whatever the component that I have, the same component I wanted to push it to the another org. Now last time we searched for the retrieve, right? Now we have to look for deploy. There is some keyword which is called as a deploy. Deploy. I have to get the deploy. So let's take this. Deploy the unpackaged set of metadata retrieved with the retrieve unpackaged. Okay. Now copy this. Let's paste it below this. Okay. Now I'll change this name from something else. Someone. Username, password, session ID, server URL, everything is collected from there. Retrieve unpackaged data. So this is something that I need to modify because deploy route is from where I wanted to capture the information. From where I wanted to capture the information, my all components are sitting in the samskaraIT. So I have to give last 2 folder names. Last 2 folder names. Okay. Deploy root is Swapna samskaraIT. Okay. Rollback on error. So for example, if you are moving the changes related to the Apex code or Apex classes, trigger, some component which you have a test classes does not have anything or anything is breaking up while deployment. In case if you want to roll back everything, then you put rollback on error equal to true. But if you say that there are some fields are there, page layouts are there along with the Apex classes. So if Apex classes is having an issue, why are we planning to stop the field, page layout, formula field? Let them go on. So in case if you wanted to move half of the one which are successful and only stop the one where the error is there. In case if you want that kind of a scenario, put it as a false. So false will what will happen? Whatever is pushed it perfectly, it will push it. Whatever is not posted, it will give the error. It will show the error on that. So right now, let's keep it as a true. Let's save this. Okay. No, I made a changes to property. Package.xml is not required. Build is done. Now deployment route also I made a changes. Now the next step is I have to run it. I have to run and SAM1 because the new target name is SAM1. Hit enter, building the file, SAM1, one in progress. Hope there is no issue because I have not given the token number. Let's see. Okay, successfully fine. Good. Okay, it is pushed into the Konuganti. So let's go ahead and before I was not having this file. So now let's go ahead and see the Visualforce pages. See, it pushed it to the my first page by this person on this state. Perfect. So same thing, whatever the components that you wanted to push, you have to update the changes to the, or you have to include the package.xml. For example, if you wanted to push the changes related to the Apex classes, then add here another type. Add here another type. It says Apex class. And give any specific class you wanted to move. Or if you wanted to move all the Apex classes, give it a star. So you have to define first which one needs to be moved. Based on that, you have to build the package.xml. Right, we made a changes and step 12 is running the ant, like open cmd command prompt, open command prompt and type ant space whatever your target name. Whatever your target name. So this will deploy the changes. This will retrieve the changes from source org to local system. And then step 13, make changes to the two files, build.property. Why? Because you have to update the credentials which are related to the target system, and then change the build because you have to do the sf:/deploy. And let's save that. After saving it, open command prompt and type and whatever the target name is. So this what will happen? This will deploy the changes from local system to target org. So which one we did it right now, deploy? So this one we have to do it. How we did it? By running the ant target name. Here also same thing, ant target name. Clear? Any questions? So if there are no questions, I would suggest this video, go through it again, because there are a lot of steps which we have done it today. This is basically the ant. First time we are doing it. That's the reason every individual step I have shown. Okay, go through this video again, and if you have any questions, we can discuss on this. But it is mandatory to go through this and understand each step. Okay. Thank you everyone. We will meet tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you, Swapna.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.